Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's kick off today's video with a story about a veteran mechanic, a brand new and notoriously anxious boss fresh from corporate, and a toolbox ultimatum that led to the act of malicious compliance. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Boss wants to borrow my tools and critique my ADHD system. I've been a mechanic for nearly 15 years. I'm the lead tech in my shop, and my company just sold recently to a different corporation, but with that came a new boss. A little bit of history about new boss. He's 22 and the son of one of my older bosses, so everybody suspects a bit of nepotism at play. The older boss was ruthless and a jerk and really put a dent in my confidence about being a mechanic, so I may hold somewhat of a grudge against the family, but I try to do my best to move on and just do my job. The new boss and I have had some minor issues already in the 3 months he's been here, but I'm the type of person who can generally put my feelings to the side if the money keeps ending up on my paycheck. Today, however, that changed. I will admit I'm not the most organized person. I have ADHD, and at 33 years old, I'm still learning to function without the medicine that I weaned off of at 26. My toolbox is normally cluttered, but I keep all my tools in my area or on top of my box. It's the system that works for me. This morning I clocked in and was about to unlock my box when the new boss came up to me and said, "You will not be working on cars today until your box is organized." I said, "My box is organized in the way that it works for me." He shot back with, "Not good enough for me or the company. I need to be able to find tools when I need them, and it needs to look neat and orderly for when corporate comes through." I paused for a second and said, "So you're telling me that you need to be able to find my tools that I have purchased when you need to use them?" I don't remember signing that agreement. He nodded and muttered something about insubordination and that he would be passing off all the work to the other technician until it was completed to his satisfaction. I'd assumed he was bluffing until 3 cars came in and all 3 tickets were handed to the other tech. I don't have any problem being told to clean up, and I would have done it his way, but I had a problem with his tone, and this was messing with my paycheck. So while he was in the back doing tire inventory, I opened the top drawer of my toolbox, spread my arms, and swept every single thing in the drawer that I could. I repeated for the second and third drawer until the top was clean. I used the same process for both of my smaller carts until each one could be closed and locked. Then I clocked out for lunch. I'm currently sitting in my car in the parking lot eating lunch and browsing job listings while watching him try to open all my drawers to use my tools because 3 more cars came in and the other tech can't handle 6 at a time. Update. I clocked back in from lunch and boss asked to speak with me. Apparently he called the district manager and also his dad, who's a district manager of another district, for advice, and it sounds like they both told him to make it right and that he could not afford to lose me. I know how it sounds, but it's true. He told me that he just wanted to make a good impression on corporate, who would be coming through in a few weeks, and that he shouldn't have targeted me personally. He paid me for the 3 vehicles he worked on, and I let him know that I was willing to work with him, but if he ever spoke down to me again, there would not be a do-over. I would leave. He also inquired about buying his own tools. He's not a bad dude, just a little anxious, I guess. I suppose I'll stick around for a little as the paychecks are worth it and the drive is convenient and I have a wife and a house to pay for. As for some of the responses, yes, I am somewhat of a slob with my toolbox, but I also average 10 to 15 cars a day, so I don't always have time or the drive to neatly organize my tools daily. He said he'll be bringing his toolbox from home and calling or texting to ask to borrow before borrowing. I guess I'm somewhat of a rare mechanic as I don't mind people borrowing my tools as long as they're put back. Also, the empty toolbox comments. I own all 4 of my toolboxes, so they would be coming with me if I left. Thanks for the support, guys. Seems like maliciously complying paid off for once. That's like a chef messing with another chef's knives that he bought, paid for, and maintains the way he likes them. You don't do that. As the saying goes, there are few bad jobs, but there are many bad bosses. Don't work for 1 day longer than absolutely necessary. Hope you find a better boss soon. And our second story. The HOA Vegan Karen destroyed my grill at Silver Birch Lake. I woke up at dawn to the soft lapping of waves. Silver Birch Lake knows how to make a perfect alarm clock. Lisa was already bustling in the kitchen, the coffee pot sizzling, the smell drifting through the whole cabin. Through the glass doors, the familiar pier, pine trees, a soft mist hanging over the water. My dad built this cottage before I even got into college, and he's kept it ever since like a family totem. You can use it, but only on the schedule and never for free. Back then I thought it was tyranny, but now I get it. Those hours scrubbing the boat and mowing the lawn taught me how to work and how to value money. So here I am at 40 with my own apartment and a stable engineering job, still giddy like a kid at the chance to spend a few weeks here. This summer we had more people than usual, me, Lisa, our 2 kids, and 3 old friends with their kids. In the trunk of our Ford Bronco was my pride and joy, a $2,500 gas grill, 5 burners, cast iron grates, a side infrared burner. Honestly, I polish it more often than I wash the Bronco. Everything was perfect. The kids were splashing in the lake, the adults were sipping Chardonnay, and steaks were sizzling under the lid. Then, just before sunset, I hear a theatrical ahem from beyond the fence. I look up, a woman in her 50s wearing a blinding lime green tracksuit and an HOA badge, hands on her hips, face twisted in outrage. "Are you trying to kill me?" she shrieks. "I'm vegan. The smell of meat is harmful to me. Shut that stink down immediately." I calmly explained that the smoke was blowing toward the lake and everything was within code. She turned beet red and snapped, "I have a whole team of lawyers. I'm the director of the regional office of Birch Corps. I'll sue you into the ground if you don't stop." Next to her stood a tanned, much younger bodybuilder type, flexing and flipping us off. I didn't want the night ruined, so I shut off the burners, closed the lid, told everyone the grill was going to sleep, and took the whole crew to a steakhouse in town. Before we left, I turned on the security cams, one outside and another inside aimed through the kitchen window toward the pier. Next morning, we were out kayaking on the lake for hours. We come back and the grill's gone. Down by the dock, just under the water, I see a mangled lid and bits of stainless steel gleaming. My pulse is pounding. I rewind the camera. 12:47 p.m., our vegan warrior and her muscle boy hopping over the fence. He's smashing the grill with a sledgehammer while she claps approvingly in a mask. Then they both push the pieces into the lake. Clear view of their faces, timestamp. Karen herself had bragged about her company and lawyers, so I decided to take her advice. I clipped the footage, wrote a short description, and sent it to my dad. Little spoiler, Birch Corps Group belongs to him. And yes, Karen really is a manager there, one with chronic underperformance. I also emailed her an official message. In accordance with our safety policy, I'm forwarding the footage to executive leadership. As requested, this is now formal. That evening, Dad's Maserati glided up to her porch. Out stepped my father, our corporate lawyer, and HR. 2 security guys from Karen's pickup stepped aside without a word. Dad politely but firmly laid it out. Vandalism, ethics violations, and her whole department's sinking metrics. Her contract terminated on the spot. The house she rented through Birch Corps' partner agency, also gone. Her beefcake boy toy packed their bags. They had 48 hours to vacate. Insurance covered the damages without any hassle, and a week later I got an upgraded grill with Wi-Fi thermometer. Lisa handed me an apron that read, "Hey Karen, smell this." We fired up steaks, chicken wings, and even some vegan zucchini, just in case our new HOA neighbor is also sensitive. Karen vanished from the neighborhood. The HOA has gone completely silent like nothing ever happened. Now I sit on the dock with my coffee, listening to the hiss of grilling meat, looking out over the lake and thinking, she wanted things official, so she got them. Malicious compliance, doing exactly what's asked of you and letting people burn their own careers to ash. One grill at a time. Malicious compliance at its finest. And our last story. Guy demanded store policy answers from a random guy walking home with groceries. In 1998, I managed the mail room in a large law firm. I supervised about 12 people. It was a horrible job, but that's another story. Anywho, since we worked in the law firm, we had to wear professional clothes, suit, tie, etc. However, we all got paid crap, so most of us bought our clothing at discount or secondhand stores. Every night I'd walk to the bus stop, take the bus home, grab dinner at the grocery store a block away from the stop, maybe hit one or two other stores to pick up a couple other things, and then walk the remaining few blocks to the boarding house where I lived. I lived in inner northwest Portland. I quickly learned to expect panhandlers approaching me for money at least once or twice during this journey, while almost never getting approached on my off days when I wore a t-shirt and jeans. I also wore my monthly bus pass on a lanyard around my neck, so I'd often get mistaken for a manager of the stores I visited. Almost always, I would say, "I don't work here," and that would be the end of it. Except once. As I was exiting the grocery store with my bag of stuff, I saw a customer talking animatedly with one of the employees. He was upset over something. He saw me out of the corner of his eye and walked over to me. We were about the same age and dressed roughly the same. Although he didn't have a tie like me, all the grocery store employees wore t-shirts, blue jeans, and blue aprons. Even the managers wore that. I never saw anyone else dressed any other way. Me equals me, him equals him. I keep walking out the door to my home, and he follows behind me. Him: "Are you a manager here?" Me: "I'm not a manager." Him: "Are you a manager?" Me: "No." Him: "I want to talk to you." Me: "I'm not a manager." During the rest of our encounter, I don't break stride, don't speak, and he never stops talking. I tuned him out fairly quickly, so I don't remember much beyond the general gist of his monologue, asking me why it is that this store does this, and why don't they do that, why are they all so rude, etc., etc. The store was only a block away from where I lived. He kept following, and as I was about to walk up the steps, I decided it was a bad idea for him to know where I lived, so I turned right and we crossed the street. I was planning on just walking along that street until he lost interest. Then I realized that we would have been the only people walking down the street which didn't have street lights. Being alone in a dark place with him was also probably a bad idea. So after crossing the street, we turned right again and walked down the block opposite the grocery store. Then when we got to the end, I decided I should try and stay in an area that's relatively well-trafficked and well-lit. Besides, I might as well stay close to my house. So we crossed the next street, turned right, crossed that street, turned right, and crossed that street until we were right in front of the store again. I kept walking past the store, wondering how long this was going to take. As we approached the end of the block again, he yells something or other at me and walks away. I turn around and watch him for a minute, then go up the steps inside my house. There were always a few people like this in the neighborhood, so I didn't think much of it. Some were even a little famous in the neighborhood. Although each time my father-in-law visits, he's blown away by the weird characters he sees. It's like when you lead a dog around and around the kitchen counter, even though you've told it that you won't give it food. Great story. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.